your stations. Brother Senior Deacon, you will escort into the chapter room the Master of Ceremonies.
Brother Mass Counselor, I take pleasure in presenting Mr. Robert Layton, who is going to be the Master of Ceremonies for this evening.
Dad, Lady, we're all glad to have you here. You've had an excellent impact on James's life, and I would be glad if you could join me here in peace. Brother Senior Deacon, you will escort into the chapter the chairman of the advisory board for North Star Chapter.
Brother Mass Counselor, I take pleasure in presenting Dad Joseph Holman, who is the chairman for the North Star Chapter Advisory Council. Yeah.
Dad Holman, you provided excellent service to the members and advisors of this chapter, and I've been pleasure to work with you since my joining of the chapter. Would you like to join me in these? Or
Yes, thank you.
a seat of your choosing? Friends, on behalf of North Star Chapter, we welcome you most cordially to this ceremony of investiture. It may not be out of place at this time to explain briefly the general purposes of our order, to which only young men between the ages of 12 and 21 years are eligible. While we have secret signs, words, and modes of recognition, we have no secrets from the world so far as our central purposes are concerned. We are banded together for mutual improvement, to help each other live clean, manly, upright, and patriotic lives, which will be a credit to our parents and friends, and which will merit the commendation of all good men. In our meetings, we inculcate only principles which are in harmony with this exalted purpose, and in our daily lives, we seek to carry them into effect. We feel we can rightly bespeak for our order in general, and for ourselves in particular, the hearty assistance of all good men and women. Brother installing Senior Deacon. Senior Deacon. You will attend at the altar. Our forefathers were well aware that religious liberty, represented by the Holy Bible, civil liberty, represented by the flag of our country, and intellectual liberty, represented by the school books, must go hand in hand in order to be effective. Around these bulwarks, the Order of who is in heaven. Brother, Senior Counselor, you will open the Holy Bible on the altar.
We open the Holy Bible, the foundation of our faith and everlasting days, upon the altar as a symbol of the religious liberty, which is the birthright of all people. Upon that altar is not the emblem of any creed, nor the repository of any system of theology, but the word of the one living and true God, whose universal fatherhood teaches the inescapable lesson of the brotherhood of all his sons. Without the opportunity to worship God according to the dictates of our own consciences, our freedom would be a mockery. Therefore, as the foundation of all our liberties, we place the Word of God upon our altar, and I solemnly enjoin the members of this chapter ever to walk in the light of its teachings, and never to meet save around its open pages.
Brother Junior Counselor, you will see that the flag of our country is presented at the altar.
Brother Senior Deacon, you will present the flag of our country at the altar. Brother and friends, you will stand at attention and salute our flag. Brethren, you will join me in saluting and pledging allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We present the flag at the altar as a symbol of the civil liberty, without which there could be no religious freedom. It is especially appropriate that this flag be entrusted to the custody of these young men, so soon to become the patriots, the citizens by whose patriotism its honor must be defended. Young men have fought in every crisis of our nation's history. We have called upon our young manhood, and thank God it has never failed to respond. Young men have fought in every war our country has ever waged, and the red upon that glorious banner is dyed a richer hue by the precious blood our nation's youth has shed. Therefore, we present the flag at the altar as a sentinel to guard us while we worship, and I solemnly enjoin the members of this chapter to never meet save beneath its protecting folds, and outside the chapter walls, ever to live worthy of that sacred banner.
From the station in the east, emblematic of the morning years of life, we place the school books on the altar as a symbol of the intellectual liberty, without which there could be neither civil nor religious freedom. They are particularly emblematic of the great public school system of our country, the foundation of that universal enlightenment which is the crowning glory of our institutions. Devoted championship of our public schools is a cardinal teaching of the Order of DeMolay. We are unalterably opposed to the same building housing a school, a church, and a seat of civil government. Civil, religious, and intellectual liberty are the three sources of our country's greatness, but they must stand alone, upon separate foundations and under separate roofs. These books, representative of those being carried to and from the public schools by millions of boys and girls each day, are just as vital symbols of our liberties as the Holy Bible, which is the rule and guide of our faith, or the flag, which protects the school, the church, and the seat of civil power. We, therefore, place these books upon the altar, and I solemnly enjoin the members of this chapter ever to stand unswervingly for the protection and perpetuity of the free public school, the citadel of our safety, and the source of the only real freedom possible in a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I now declare this chapter open for the purpose of investiture. I'd like now to call on Dad Levy for his remarks.
Thank you, sir. So I can see to start with. I printed it even in big print. I would like to, at this time, give a brief address of welcome on behalf of the family and James in particular. I don't know if all of you know or not, but he is my nephew, so it is quite an honor for me to welcome you all here this afternoon. Before I get into the little spiel that I have for James, I just thought I would give you a little history of the degree of Chevalier. Most everybody here, I think, knows, but it might be for some that don't, it might help you understand just a little bit. The degree of Chevalier is the highest honor that can be conferred upon an active DeMolay, which is a DeMolay between 12 and 21 years of age. The degree of Chevalier was approved in April of 1936. The first actual ceremony was in 1937. This degree was, they had the Legion of Honor, and one of the men was talking to Dad Land, who's the founder of DeMolay, about having something for an active DeMolay. And they decided to do that. The honor was conferred is conferred upon members of the Order of DeMolay who have performed unusual and meritorious service in behalf of the order, who have attained the age of 18, which that's been changed later to 17, and in 2000 lowered to the age of 16, and who have been members of a chapter for at least 2 years. You cannot apply for this distinction, and it takes a unanimous vote of the Supreme Council in regular session to elect a nominee to receive the degree of Chevalier. The ritual that you're about to see in a little bit was written by Dad Land, and was a dramatic presentation of the threefold purpose he has always associated with DeMolay: love of God, love of home, and love of country. The obligation, short, brief, and full of meaning, for the years that were to come, concluded with a line that contained the theme of the degree. I furthermore promise and vow that I will, each day hereafter, strive to be a better man than I have ever been before. So help me God. So those are some of the things that Brother McDaniels is going to have to live up to as a Chevalier. It's not just for one day, it's for a lifetime. This afternoon, we're honoring James McDaniels, my nephew, with his degree of Chevalier. And I'm honored, of course, to be the host. I'm James' uncle. I've known him all his life, from when he was born till now. He's been, and including all his life in DeMolay. So James is quite devoted to DeMolay. As you know, that it's easier to say what James hasn't done than what he has done. If you look out there at all the trophies and all the awards, and most of you know him, he's, spectacular. There's no other way to put it. He's been a fourth preceptor, senior steward, senior deacon, chaplain, all the junior senior counselor. He's been master counselor. He's earned the Lamp of Knowledge, Representative DeMolay Award. He's attended the DeMolay Leadership Conference, and he was the Superior Division Senior Counselor in 2013. He's participated in numerous initiatory and DeMolay degree teams in all those years and done a spectacular job. Ritual is his. I don't know how many things he can memorize at one time. And on the spot like that. It's amazing. And he does it with enthusiasm and pride in his work. And speaking of pride, an excellent ritualist, and competed in Pride, which is the ritual competition for NorCal DeMolay, and he's won just about every, either first place or right there, just about everything he's competed in. He was actually awarded the NCDA Ritualist of the Year in 2014. James has always been active in North Star with fundraisers, community service projects, and sports day competitions. He's even, now he's a big-time college student down in USC, which of course he's doing very well there. But he still, even though he's away, he still manages to, when he can get back here for Pride or for a degree or something, he still thinks about his North Star chapter. James is also an Eagle Scout, which is the highest honor that you can attain. Only 3%, well, when my son got his, it was 3%. I think it's less now, make Eagle Scout. I read, and I don't know off the internet, I don't know how accurate the information is. As far as Chevaliers, there's only 1%. And I don't know if that is entirely accurate, but it may be. So it's an elite group of people. Student body president, salutatorian when he graduated from I know I pronounced him correctly. And from Marysville Academy of the Arts 2 years ago. He writes for just about everything. Of course, he wants to be a sports broadcaster when he finishes his college, and I think he's probably going to attain that goal. That sports is another thing. NASCAR and basketball. Those are his two. You ask him any question about NASCAR or basketball, and he can give you the answer. Present into and historical facts. He's also very enthusiastic about horse racing. Covered the Breeders' Cup and followed California Chrome during his run for the Triple Crown. He's some of the things he's interested in. His hobbies. He really enjoys trains. He He likes to snow ski. I've snow skied with him before, and he's really a very good snow skier. Let's see, he also, he did manage to get a little bit of, there's a couple of pilots that are in his family. My son is one of them, but he got to go in a Cessna with his uncle Anthony, Tina's brother, and got to actually, hold the controls of the plane, which I know he was pretty enthused about that, and it's pretty exciting. I know that he is well deserving of this honor. He's a great young man, and I know that he's going to do well in the future. I wish him the best of luck. I thank each and every one of you for, I know a lot of special friends, some from a great distance, traveled here to be here, and I know that he really is going to appreciate that. I hope you'll hang around, get a chance to talk to him later, have a little bit of spaghetti dinner when we get all done with. And I know we're all proud of you, James. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to the Master Counselor so he can get this show on the road.
The investiture team will now enter the chapter room.
I'd like to take this opportunity to myself welcome you all here. I hope that you enjoy this ceremony. It is one, as Bob Lamy told us, that's quite unique in DeMolay ritual. I count it a privilege to be permitted to preside at this conferring of the degree of Chevalier. In a few moments, we shall witness a ceremony that is as symbolic of citizenship as the Athenian oath, and as profound in religious significance as the creation of a knight in the days of chivalry. Even before the time of Nineveh or the building of King Solomon's temple, ere the Egyptians built their pyramids and Jason sought the golden fleece, or soldiers of fortune followed the eagles of Rome, it was an ancient custom to honor those to whom honors were due. Brother Grand Marshal, you will present the brother who is about to be created a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay.
Brother Grand Commander, I present to you and to the members of the Order of DeMolay and the assembled guests, Brother James Thomas McDaniels, who has been designated by DeMolay International to be elevated to the rank and dignity of a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay.
My brother, you have just been presented to me for elevation to the highest honor for distinguished DeMolay service within the gift of DeMolay International. Only one other honor, the Legion of Honor for Outstanding adult leadership and service to humanity outranks the distinction I am about to confer on you. You have been selected from the membership of North Star Chapter as having rendered exceptional service in behalf of the Order of DeMolay, and this chapter in particular. Your efforts in the various activities of the Order have been numerous, and have reflected beyond our Order to a lasting benefit of all youth. Your material gains are beyond price, but great as they are of little consequence when compared with their spiritual significance. In every willing act of your life, you have performed, let us say, divine service, because he who acts nobly does God's will. If this is not true, then your performances have been in vain. The work in which you have been engaged cannot be measured by the standards of men. Therefore, as an inspired worker in our cause, you have been called here to receive honors in the presence of your brethren and friends. I can think of no better approach to this investiture than that we heed the Grand Chaplain, as he reads to us the inspired words of David, who sang of the security of the godly in the 91st chapter of the Psalms.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder. The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him, and show him my salvation.
My brother, in the days that are to come, may these words of the psalmist ever be before you, a beacon to light your way to the very throne of God. As children of a universal Father, acknowledging that he is all and in all, it is fitting that you, who are about to receive this honor, should throughout all the years of your life be a humble and consecrated son of God. Outward observance of religion means little unless there is within a deep sense of soul. In the character of a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay, may you, in every act, manner, and circumstance, prove worthy of this universal sonship. I therefore dedicate you anew to the service of God and all humanity. Brother Grand Marshal, you will conduct this brother to the commander in the south.
Brother Commander, I present to you this brother who has been designated by DeMolay International to be elevated to the rank and dignity of a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay.
My brethren, in this hour of consecration, I again remind you of that sacred thing called home. There is a magic in that little word, home. It is the mystic circle that surrounds, virtues, and comforts, never known beyond its hollow limits.
It is the cradle.
It is the cradle. It is the very bulwark of our civilization. Ever since you first knelt at the altar of DeMolay, you have been dedicated to be a better son, a better father, a better husband, and a better man. As a Chevalier, I dedicate you anew to the DeMolay ideal of home and all that the word implies. You will now be conducted to the west, where you will receive further instruction.
Brother Commander, I present to you this brother who has been designated by DeMolay International to be elevated to the rank and dignity of a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay.
My brother, I receive you upon one of the cardinal points of DeMolay, love of country. The deeper patriotism that does not unfurl during holidays alone, or that rattles the flashing saber in a menacing threat, but rather the patriotism which, while making known to every man his rights, still reminds him of the rights of every other man. Our forefathers gave us a heritage that gives to all the sincere hope of being great men and serving patriots. It is well that we here should rededicate ourselves to the threefold purposes of DeMolay: love of God, love of home, and love of country. Your leadership through the years, if charted by these principles, will make you live worthily for your country, as well as die bravely for it if the need shall come. I dedicate you anew to the DeMolay ideal of patriotism. You will now be conducted to our holy altar.
My brother, you have already signed your vow of allegiance that it may be deposited in the archives of DeMolay International. You now appear at this altar to assume a public obligation of service before being created a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay and receiving its regalia. Are you ready to assume this obligation?
I am.
I invite all Chevaliers present to join us as an honor guard in a circle around the altar. My brother, you will kneel on both knees and place both hands upon the Holy Bible. You will say, I speak your name in full,
James Thomas McDaniels,
and repeat after me. In the presence of Almighty God,
in the presence of Almighty God,
and these witnesses here assembled,
and these witnesses here assembled
do solemnly promise, covenant, and vow
do solemnly promise, covenant, and vow
that I will from this time forward
that I will from this time forward
militantly
militantly
and with the deepest devotion
and with the deepest devotion
serve the Order of DeMolay
serve the Order of DeMolay
and the truths it teaches.
and the truths it teaches.
I do now and hereon
I do now and hereon
renew and rededicate myself
renew and rededicate myself
to all of the vows
to all of the vows
I have heretofore taken
I have heretofore taken
in the Order of DeMolay.
in the Order of DeMolay.
I furthermore promise and vow
I furthermore promise and vow
perpetual loyalty
perpetual loyalty
and service to my country
and service to my country
in every field of endeavor,
in every field of endeavor,
and that I will always be an active opponent
and that I will always be an active opponent
of sedition, anarchy, or any cause
of sedition, anarchy, and any cause
that would betray
that would betray
my country's greatest good.
my country's greatest good.
I furthermore promise and vow
I furthermore promise and vow
that I will wage constant warfare
that I will wage constant warfare
against ignorance,
against ignorance,
superstition, and the forces of evil
superstition, and the forces of evil
that would enslave or debauch childhood.
that would enslave or debauch childhood.
I furthermore promise and vow
I furthermore promise and vow
that I will ever strive to serve God.
that I will ever strive to serve God.
I furthermore promise and vow
I furthermore promise and vow
that I will each day hereafter
that I will each day hereafter
strive to be a better man
strive to be a better man
than I have ever been before.
than I have ever been before.
I furthermore and most solemnly
I furthermore and most solemnly
promise and vow
promise and vow
that hereafter on November 8th
that hereafter on November 8th
of each year,
of each year,
as a memorial
as a memorial
to our founder, Frank Sherman Land,
Frank Sherman Land,
I will hold communion
I will hold communion
with a fellow Chevalier or Court of Chevaliers,
with a fellow Chevalier or Court of Chevaliers,
wherever I may be,
wherever I may be,
and should this be impossible,
and should this be impossible,
I will break bread
I will break bread
with an active DeMolay
with an active DeMolay
or a young man in his teens.
or a young man in his teens.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You will disengage your hands, rise, and kiss the Holy Bible. The honor guard is now dismissed and may be seated. It is now my privilege to symbolically place upon the third finger of your left hand the ring of a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay. This ring's intrinsic worth cannot be measured in material value, for it should ever be to you a solemn reminder of your vows to be faithful to the trust reposed in you.
And that's right. And this one.
You're right. I wear it on my right hand. I have a wedding ring. It's way too big for you, so I'll take it back. But I will forgive you. It's good to have somebody help me out.
present to you this brother, who, having assumed his vows, now desires to be exalted to the high rank and honor of a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay.
My brother, you will kneel on both knees facing the altar. Brother Grand Chaplain, you will lead us in prayer. Chevaliers and DeMolays will kneel on left knees. All others will remain standing.
Our Heavenly Father, Thou who art the giver of every good and perfect gift, we approach Thee in this hour of consecration, asking that Thou wilt strengthen this brother whom we elevate on this occasion.
They have rededicated themselves.
He has rededicated himself in Thy sight to the threefold purpose of DeMolay: love of God, love of home, and love of country. We thank Thee for all that he has accomplished for our beloved order. May he increase in Thy manifold gifts of grace. Bless him in his new responsibilities, that his efforts and endeavors will be worthy in Thy sight. Grant him wisdom and understanding, that they may reflect Thy will. Amen.
Amen. For God, for country, for DeMolay. By virtue of the power and authority in me vested as Grand Commander, and acting under the authority of DeMolay International, I now declare you to be a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay. As I place this cordon and medallion about your neck, you will arise. Brother Grand Marshal, you will present to this newly created Chevalier his patent of membership.
The International Supreme Council of the Order of DeMolay. Greeting. Know ye that Brother James Thomas McDaniels, whose name is signed in the margin hereof, has been created a Chevalier subject to the statutes of the International Supreme Council of the Order of DeMolay, and has been duly invested with this degree, entitling him to be received, welcomed, and honored everywhere. In testimony whereof we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of the Supreme Council to be affixed this 20th day of June, 2015. Thank you.
This concludes our ceremony of investiture. May this brother whom we've elevated to distinction this day go forward as a true soldier of DeMolay, radiant in God's glory, and as an incentive and inspiration to the young manhood of all the world. Brother Grand Marshal, you will conduct our brother once around the chapter room for the first time as a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay, after which you will afford him a seat in the east.
pin for you to wear. This is from the Grand Encampment of the Knights Templar, United States of America. Congratulations on your selection as a Chevalier of the Order of DeMolay. Please accept this gift, which is a very nice pin with Jacques DeMolay emblazoned upon it, from the officers and Sir Knights of the Grand Encampment in recognition of your distinguished service to the Order of DeMolay and to the high ideals which are inculcated by its teachings. And then it's Lawrence Eugene Tucker, Right Eminent Grand Reporter. So, thank you. Congratulations again.
Well, James, it is our custom to impose upon newly created Chevaliers to say a few words. Mostly we want to know that you appreciate the effort we put forth. But if you don't happen to include that in your remarks, we'll forgive you. So it's your turn, and if you'd like, you can set all of this down here so you don't have to hold it. You may.
Oh, wow. You know, before I even start out with my remarks, first off, just like, wow, this is just amazing. It's like, to me, Boy Scout, when I was young, you know, going up in high school and middle school and elementary school and such, before hitting college, Boy Scouts and DeMolay were the two major organizations that I was in. And I know that Eagle Scout, that was a major moment for me in my life in 2013 when I received that. And here, it's like, you know, DeMolay has been one of those things that I've just enjoyed so much. You know, who pays, who flies home, you know, in the middle of semesters just to attend DeMolay events, you know? You know, I spent my first half of my time in the city's chapter, and the second half of my DeMolay time has been here at North Star, and I absolutely have loved working with the North Star guys, and Dad Machoka, and Dad Holman, and Dad Wilson. They have been amazing in making me who I am today, and all the hours that they put into the ritual work that I've been honored to do and have loved doing, and being part of all of our activities along with the other members of the chapter. You know, to me, it's like in high school, I wasn't the biggest fan of like friends necessarily in high school. I mean, I had like people I knew and liked and, you know, could talk with, but I really wouldn't consider them a lot of friends. And in Boy Scouts, I didn't have that really either, because I was going from troop to troop. But I tell you, in DeMolay, I have made some of the best lifetime-long friends here. And I mean, this Chevalier here just kind of cultivates it all, you know, into just, this cements just everything that I've put forth toward DeMolay, and I'm really honored to have received it. So I guess that's just my little spiel. I'm trying not to get emotional up here, but just know that DeMolay, just know that, just all of you know, DeMolay has been such an amazing experience for me, and I will cherish it for the rest of my life. And so now I want to do the remarks for tonight's ceremonies, because there's a lot of people that made today possible. First, oh boy, this is going to be tough. Mom. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. First off, let's just get to what you did for this ceremony. Thank you for helping plan this ceremony. Thank you for making the flyers, the programs. You and my grandparents helped you for making the decorations. Thank you to my entire family, really, for helping set up. But I mean, if there's anybody out, you know, in my family, you know, that's been really big, that's within my intermediate family. I know that, you know, Tina and Bob have really been helpful, very supportive, because they were in a lot of Masonic organizations. But in terms of the person who takes me to a lot of my events, you know, pays for a lot of our stuff and all that, and who's put in so many hours, you know, of her own life into making sure me and my brothers, DeMolay, like, we're amazing. It's been my mom. I can everything, you know. So next I do want to say thank you to Aunt Tina, who was the hostess and is preparing the dinner that you are going to receive after we get out of here. And then Uncle Bob, I want to thank you very much for being the Master of Ceremonies. And you were my Master of Ceremonies for when I was going in as Master Counselor in the city, so it means a lot that you're able to do MC again today. And that's another thing I want to point out is that, to be honest, there's a couple of members on this team that were also on the installing team when I was going in as Master Counselor. I think it was Jimmy, were you one of them? Yeah, I think Jimmy was one, Brandon was one, Matt was another one, James Wilson was another one, and then Kyle Kimmy, who was going to be part of this, couldn't make it today, but he still said, congratulations and stuff at Pride. So he was also on my team as well, so he was supposed to be here. So it was good. So the way I wanted to do it really was, it's really special for me that I have the team that I did, because this team really consisted of everybody who has been, a big part of my DeMolay life. I know I'm going on a little bit on here, but I think it's deserved. Brother James Wilson and brother Brandon Bethune. You guys were probably the two biggest members I looked up to when I was starting out in DeMolay, along with Kyle Kimmy. And I always thought to myself, if I want to make myself a good, great DeMolay, I need to follow the examples that these guys have set. And so, obviously it's everybody's opinion, but now we're all Chevaliers, so we're part of another special group together, so I think that's great. But thank you so much for being the examples that I was able to look up to when I was just starting out in DeMolay in 2008. And then Jimmy was a great leader in this chapter when I came in, and I worked with him when we were on the division, and that was great. And then Matt Holman was also another great example. Dad Holman Jr. maybe, right? Okay, Matt. So Matt, yes, he was another great example of somebody to look up to when I came to this chapter. And then, like I said, Dad Wilson, Dad Holman, and Dad Matroka have been like the advisors that I've looked up to and worked with for a while. So this team really, honestly, means a whole bunch to me that this was the team that was able to present me with the Chevalier. Let me get back to the remarks before I go out any longer. Thank you to Mom Stansel and Mom Holman for, where are you guys?
They're in the kitchen.
Okay, so I just want to shout out to them for helping with the dinner tonight. Thank you again to Dad Machoke for being the Grand Commander, Dad Wilson for being the pianist, and then everybody who makes up the Chevalier team tonight. Thank you again. Thank you to Nolan for being the Master Counselor for the opening, and thank you to all the members, including my own brother Jonathan, for being part of the opening and closing ceremonies team. Let's see, I want to, and Dad Wilson also did event coordination, so thank you to him. He helped get this whole team together, so that was great. I want to thank our sponsoring body, the Nevada Lodge number 13, Freedom Accepted Masons, which, trust me, in meetings we look up at that to say part of our party. What?
Almost every time.
Yeah, it's an easy way to remember because it's literally right there with stuff. But I want to thank them. I don't know if any other sponsoring body members are here.
There are a few.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you to you guys for allowing us to use this facility for this ceremony tonight. And then again, I want to say thank you to all my family that has been I know I talked about my mom and my Aunt Tina, but I want to thank everybody who's in my family that's been here. You guys have been the backbone. I'm a guy that, even though I have friends here in England and some friends in high school and Boy Scouts and things like that, the family is, in my opinion, the strongest thing you need to be successful. And so I'm lucky to have been born to a family that's very committed to making sure that we succeed in life. And so I'm very grateful to be a part of the family that I am in. And so thank you to my grandparents who came today. Thank you to my Aunt Patty who came here today, and her husband Larry, my dad, and then Aunt Tina, Nicholas, Raquel. Did I miss anybody?
Cousin Anthony.
Cousin Anthony, okay. Cousin Anthony, thank you all for coming and supporting me. Shows just how strong of a family we are. And so I want to thank you for that. Thank you to the members of North Star Chapter and the advisors. I know I've said this kind of already before, but just thank both the members and the advisors that have really been people I've been able to look up to and learn from all these years in all different areas, from ritual, community service, to being a leader and things of that sort. Let's see, what's next? Are there any major Masonic dignitaries that are in the room that would like to stand for self-introduction at this time?
I would like to recognize a member of our sponsoring body who is here. We have our lodge secretary here, Brother Marshall Bear, and he's probably ready to kick me for introducing him, but I'm standing up to do this, James, because we don't often have an occasion to interact with the members of our sponsoring body, other than those of us who are on the advisory council. So Marshall, if you would indulge me and just please stand so people can see who you are. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for coming to today's ceremony. I'd also like to thank all the members of the Masonic family, from the Masons, the Joe Stodders, to the Rainbow Girls, to Eastern Star people, to other DeMolays that are in the room that have come to this ceremony to support me today. So it means a lot that you're here. I would like to thank, I don't know if there's any other members of my church, but I do know that my pastor and his wife are here right over there. So thank you very much.
No, just pastor. Just pastor.
You told me that's what I was going to be here. Okay. This is girl.
We don't need a scandal, thank you.
My apologies. Yes, but no, my pastor's here, and thank you to other church members of my family that have attended today as well. And okay, I want to make a special thank you to one particular person in the room, Bill Berg, right there. I want to, he's a very interesting guy, because I'm going to USC, as you probably heard. He's a USC grad as well. He's an Eagle Scout like me, and he's a Mason as well. And the thing about him is that he actually helped me complete my Eagle project a few years back. So we have all these similarities, and yet he still helped me with my Eagle, and he also helped me with my Eagle project when I was still in Boy Scouts. So thank you very much, Bill Burke, for coming to the ceremony. And then lastly, I know that I've pointed out a lot of particular people, but just thank you to everybody that's here, even if you didn't get called on during my remarks. It means a lot that you're here. It shows that you support me, or at least you support, when somebody in the Masonic family gets a major honor. And I think that speaks well to how highly you think of the Masonic family. And I think that's really important for this organization to stay strong for years to come. I don't have any more remarks, but would Dad Moberly, you're one of the highest caliber people I know that's in the room. Would you like to stand at all or speak? I know it's on the spot. I don't know pressure, but
I'm not sure what high caliber means. Is that?
Things are big around.
You're in the DeMolay Hall of Fame. We don't know if anybody else in NorCal is in the DeMolay Hall of Fame.
I just am here. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I could be here. Congratulations. It's certainly well deserved. If you go out to the dining room and you see all those trophies. When I walked in, his mother showed me these trophies, and I thought, well, those are all the trophies from North Star Chapter they've won over the years. Then I went up and I looked closer, and those are all just James's trophies. Those are all the trophies he's won. I said, Joanne, you must spend all your time dusting. There's a lot of trophies out there, a lot of recognition, but I've seen him do his work at Pride, which is our ritual competition. By the way, Pride stands for Perfect Ritual Improves DeMolay Every Way. And I think it's an important message for our kids to realize that doing good rituals pays lots of dividends besides just doing good ritual. Good public speaking skills. Anyways, those are all your trophies. I saw you in action at Pride 3 weeks ago, and this guy's amazing. Like Uncle Bob said, he goes from one room to the other and spiels off all these parts, all from memory, all word perfect. It's just amazing how he does it, how he keeps all of his mind, besides all the schoolwork and sports and things like that. So anyways, congratulations, very, very well deserved. I'm glad I could be here. Last comment about sports, go Warriors.
I'll say this. I'm a Kings fan, but what the Warriors are doing right now is insane. So, you know what? I almost kind of want them to beat the Bulls.
Yes.
But here come the Facebook comments.
They won't listen to the game. They're going to beat the Bulls right.
I'm going to introduce you for this. You have all heard us talk glowingly. No, you will. You don't. Want to help a little bit?
It's on a couple of occasions in addition to Pride, so we'll see how it goes. I haven't really practiced it that much since Pride, but this is one of the ceremonies that I did the last couple of years, and it means a lot to me because I think it does a very strong job at summarizing the core values of DeMolay and the precepts that we follow in our everyday lives. I stand before you at this sacred DeMolay altar, upon which we have placed the mighty bulwarks of our faith, the Holy Bible and the school books. Not far away rests the banner of our beloved country. Standing as sentries are these 7 burning candles, beacons in the darkness, lights to illuminate our pathway as we journey ever onward down the road of life. They are the symbols of all that is good and right with the world. They are the standards upon which we, as DeMolays, have pledged to base our lives. The first candle symbolizes the love between parent and child. That love, which existed before we were born, has remained with us all our life through and will follow us even beyond the grave. The sages named this love agape, love for no other reason than the sake of being. The second candle is emblematic for reverence of all that is sacred. A young man crossing the threshold of DeMolay for the first time professes a deep and abiding faith in one living and true God. Without this steadfast faith and the grace of our Heavenly Father, our toil would be for nothing. This third candle stands for courtesy, a courtesy that transcends friendships, a courtesy which reaches to the stranger, to the aged, to all men. It is this courtesy that brings a warm feeling and a smile and makes this life more pleasant for others as it lights the pathway before us. The fourth candle, the candle in the center of our 7, stands symbolically for comradeship. Millions of young men, such as ourselves, have knelt at this symbolic altar and dedicated themselves to the same high principles of good sonship and good citizenship. As long as we remain faithful to these pledges, as long as there is an order of DeMolay, we are one. The fifth candle stands simply for fidelity. A DeMolay can never justly be false to his vows, his promises, his friends, his God. He is called upon daily to defend the bulwarks and precepts of the order, that he might never fail as a leader or as a man. The sixth candle is symbolic of cleanness, not only the bodily cleanness which we all practice, but the cleanness of every thought, word, and deed. Only in cleanness can a DeMolay rightly be representative of the pureness of our teachings. The last candle is emblematic of patriotism. Perhaps we shall never be called upon to defend our country on the field of battle, but each day affords new opportunities to stand as good and upright citizens in behalf of that beloved banner and our hallowed land. Yet we live in troubled times, when the bulwarks of the Bible, flag, and school books are in danger of sinking into the waste of doubt and uncertainty. When these 7 glorious precepts may not be the most coveted standards upon which to base one's life. When trust and justice and brotherhood may not be considered the most virtuous of qualities. And if we, as DeMolays, do not stand unswervingly in defense of the teachings of our order, if we do not seek to perpetuate them in our daily lives, then perhaps these flames will be extinguished, muted in the shadows, and darkness shall inherit the land. Yet each of you, as a DeMolay, holds within your heart a flame, a beacon to guide you through the darkness. If you can make this light shine upon another, if you can reach into the innermost depths of his soul and set his flame afire, then therein lies the purpose of the Order of DeMolay, and therein lies your purpose for living.
Excuse me, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
We are nearly done with our ceremony for this afternoon and about to go enjoy some dinner. But before we retire, I would like to introduce the young men and those of us who aren't quite so young who performed the various ceremonies for you today. I will begin by introducing our opening ceremonies team. Brother Senior Deacon would be Jonathan McDaniels, who, go ahead and stand up, Jonathan. You did a nice job. So thank you. Serving as, you can sit down now. We didn't rehearse this, obviously, so if it looks a little disjointed, well, enjoy it. Serving as,
Plug, Master Council at 4-2.
yes, thank you. Jonathan is the Master Counselor-elect for this chapter, North Star chapter, and his installation will be in a couple of weeks on April 2nd. It'll be right here at 7 p.m. You are all invited to attend. We'll understand it if you don't come, but we would really like to have you come. Serving as Junior Counselor is Brother Jacob Stotts. Jacob is a past Master Counselor of North Star chapter, a past Senior Counselor of Superior Division, and a Chevalier. Jacob came up from San Diego just for this. He's in college down there. And doesn't he have a nice haircut? I say that because I'm a retired Marine and Jacob's very close to becoming a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps. And I'm proud of him for that. Yeah, we can give him a hand. And I apologize if I embarrass you, but I'm proud of you, and you're just going to have to suck it up.
Your dad Wilson was going to get to it.
Yeah. Serving as our Senior Counselor in opening is Brother Teek Foster. Teek is a past Master Counselor of North Star chapter and a past Master Counselor of Superior Division, also a Chevalier. Thank you, Teek. And serving as the Master Counselor of our opening ceremonies team is Brother Nolan Clark, who is a past Master Counselor of North Star and a past Master Counselor of Superior Division. Nolan, thank you. You did a wonderful job. Serving, I will now introduce the investiture team. Serving as Grand Marshal is Brother Matt Holman. Matt Holman, in addition to being an advisor for North Star chapter currently, is a past Master Counselor of the chapter, past Master Counselor of Superior Division, and a holder of the degree of Chevalier. Thanks, Matt. Serving as our Grand Chaplain is Brother James Wilson, also a past Master Counselor of North Star and Superior Division, and a past Master Counselor of the Northern California DeMolay Association, and a holder of the degree of Chevalier. James, thank you. And just so it doesn't seem one-sided, I feel obliged to note that James is also a former Ritualist of the Year for NorCal, much like his brother, James McDaniels. And Jacob twice, and Jimmy, who I'm about to introduce. But as commander in the South, we have Brandon Bethian, who you should note is a past Master Counselor of Oroville chapter, not North Star. And Brandon, we're thrilled that you joined us for this today. Brandon came from college also, but it was just from Davis. And Brandon, as I said, is a PMC of Oroville, a past senior and junior counselor for Superior Division and a holder of the degree of Chevalier. And serving as commander in the West, another former ritualist of the year, is Brother Jimmy Fowler, who is a past master counselor of North Star and Superior Division and a holder of the degree of Chevalier. Thank you, Jimmy. And those of you who have participated in ritual for fraternal organizations know how dry it is often when you do not have music to accompany you. And we are fortunate that one of our brothers and advisors sort of knows how to play the piano. And so we impose upon him when we can't find somebody else. And so, I'm teasing, of course. Charlie and I have known each other since I was a little kid. He's always been old in my opinion. But Charlie Wilson played piano for us today, and he is a past master counselor of Southern Butte chapter in Gridley, a past master counselor of the Superior California DeMolay Association. He holds the Cross of Honor, the degree of Chevalier, and the Legion of Honor. Charlie, you did a wonderful job. I like teasing you. And I don't want Nolan to have to figure it out, so I'm going to just let him read.
And serving as Grand Commander in the East, we have Sean Petroka, who's a past Master Counselor of Paradise Chapter, Superior California DeMolay Association. He's a holder of the degree of Chevalier and Cross of Honor and the Legion of Honor.
Thank you, Nolan. And kind of as our final act, Brother Senior Deacon.
That's you.
That would be you. You will attend at the altar. Please join us in the dining room for a little food and social time. I now declare this chapter closed.
Are they supposed to have the spotlight come down on the Bible?
I can turn the spotlight
If
on.
you want
Yeah.
to, turn it